Hi there, it's Pete the Hipster King from the Hairy Game Lords, and this evening we have been playing this Book of Skulls, Slayers of Eragoth. What did we think? Stay tuned to find out. Book of Skulls is a dungeon crawl in essence across a sprawling map with a kind of maze-like path that you have to follow. There are branches on that path. You can choose your directions, and you're going to be moving through the map. Every turn you're going to be either taking an encounter or taking an action. Actions tend to be positive. Encounters tend to involve having a battle with the other team who are going to be playing as the demons. You'll then play as the demons when their slayers, their team of slayers, are working their way through the map. And basically you work your way across the map until you come to a landmark. Those landmarks are either going to be dungeons, they are going to be strongholds where you're going to be encountering some of the bosses in the game, or they are going to be little colonies where you can go in and you can spend the cash that you win from all the battling you do and all the chests that you find. And there are also, on each one of the different maps, there are some areas of specific interest, and there's a whole book of lore, and there are different things that you can interact with as you move through the maps. And the aim is, as you go through the maps, you are going to be capturing those boss souls that are going to allow you to access the stronghold of the big bad who's at the end of the game. And depending on how many maps you use will decide how many souls you need to capture before you can unlock that final battle. So what do we think? That's a quick view of what the game is. Right, straight off the bat, we need to be totally honest. It took us about 3 hours to get through half of the first map. That is twice the speed it should take. And we should have completed the first map. We didn't get to the end of the first map. So this is very much a first thoughts on this game. So I think it's important that we put that out there first. In terms of how I'm the guy who has to learn the rules. The rule set so far, everything is prototype. They are well into the prototype, so it's a quality prototype. The cards all look really great. Everything in the game looks great. The others will talk about that. I found the rulebook a little bit tough to read. It made sense when you were playing the game. And actually, the game itself isn't as complex as it first feels. There's a lot going on. We made a few rules goofs. We played those rule goofs and for a round, so we both had the same drawbacks that we had, and then we tweaked it. But actually, with all that being said, we still had an absolute blast. We were constantly busy because the beauty of this game is when you're not the slayers combating, you are acting as the demons. So you are attacking, you are looking, and the beauty with the demons is each demon has got a different set of abilities. So we saw a handful of demons in this game, and all of them played really, really differently. And so picking your strategy about how are you going to attack the various slayers that are trying to do you in is there is choice at every point. Yes, there's dice roll combat and bits but there's plenty of mitigation, and you don't have to. There appears to be always attacks that don't need any dice roll at all, so you can just deal damage. If you want to try and go big with the damage, there tends to be a bit of a risk-reward thing. That tends to, that's when the dice rolling comes in, and that's where you make your choices. Do you want to go for big on the damage, or do you want to risk, or do you want to play safe and just do a little bit of damage? There was plenty of banter around the table. This, as I say, it was a game that as you got into the playing of it, it became it made more and more sense. But it is basically it is a combat game where you are battling against the forces of evil who are played by the opposing team, and then you swap, they move, and you're going to be the demons battling them. And that's the core of it going through the game, and we love a game like that. So if you really enjoy that kind of that strategic combat, you'll really, really enjoy this. If you like the kind of open world exploration, choosing the best path, which way is going to, if I go that way, I'll get a boss, but I've got to do this first. So trying to work out which way you're going to, which way you want to go. Do you want to go to a colony early and spend the small amount of money you've got, or do you want to have a few battles first, get some more money, and then get to a colony? So all of these choices that enable you to play out the way you want to play and the kind of strategy you want to play. And of course, because of the number of maps you've got and the way that you can put them into different orders, there's a whole lot of variability in this game as well. So I don't think you'd play the same game twice.
Hi, Dave the Grey. Dave the Grey, dungeon crawlers, that kind of thing, is kind of my bag. I wasn't very good at this, or at least me and Pete rolled. You have never seen dice rolls as bad as me and Pete's dice rolls. We were fighting one of the bosses who cast a spell on us. Basically, to do anything, each of our 4 characters had to roll more than 1 or 2 on a d6. 2 turns, 4 characters per turn. Me and Pete were still there going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We were just taking it in turns to roll 1s and 2s. 2 whole rounds, we just sat there going, please, just punch us in the face, for we are rubbish.
It's a 2. It's a 1. It's a 2.
And Andrew Martin found to be hilarious. And we got an absolute battering. You will be amazed to know. However, that does kind of go to show we were constantly engaged throughout. It is a long game, I will kid you not. Even though we were learning, I think this is still one of those where you set yourself up for a full evening of playing this game, even once you know exactly what you're doing. However, that being said, I think it is also the kind of game that rewards frequent play. It's not going to be one of those, shall we get this off the shelf? We haven't played it for ages, get it out and off you go. This is going to be one of those that you play, replay, and you will get better at it and get more from the game, because you've got lots of different characters that all have strengths and weaknesses, and the way they interrelate to each other is quite important as well. So some of them are your classic combat characters, some of them are more healers, put on buffs. So knowing what characters go into a good party, as is ever the case in this kind of thing, is probably really important. You also, as you progress across the map, you get to go into dungeons and fight bosses and what have you, which are really cool. We did not do so well, but we enjoyed it. You also get to go into towns where you can buy your potions, your buffs, that kind of thing. And some of the dungeons are also like your classic D&D sort of 4 or 5 room dungeons where you get to explore, fall into traps, get punched by monsters, and there are some cool puzzles, which obviously there's quite a lot of them. Some of them are your nice classic riddles, the whole, you're in a boat, you've got, it's a wolf, a baby, and a poisoned apple in this case. How do you get carrying one thing at a time from one side of the river to the other side? Bit of a classic. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, scratch your head. But there's lots of them, and they're just really cool. Like, how does that? And if you get it wrong, you take some damage. Guess again. So that is a really nice addition to just fighting monsters. You've actually got to scratch the old grey cells as well. So yeah, all in all, tough game, but I think rewards frequent play. And yeah, we didn't play much of the game, to be fair. However, it was very engaging. Andrew Martin will probably cackle at you because only one of our characters died. 3 of the others were not in a happy state. Let's just put it that way. We did, however, kill the dungeon boss. So, that's a win.
One of the dungeon bosses. The other one.
Counts as a win. And then we kind of snuck off and pretended that we'd done done
Run
well.
away,
Run away, run away. Back to town, tell them that we'd done the job honest. By the time they found out, you know, we'll have left. So no, thoroughly entertained. But yeah, be prepared for quite a long game. But I think you'll enjoy it.
Ange the Bearded Lady here. This obviously is a prototype. But what great box art going on there. And actually, in terms of the box, it's not a massive box, which is cool, but it is rammed full of awesome, great stuff. As you've heard already, lots of game in this box. Lots of different variants in terms of ways to play. And yeah, the chances of you playing the same game again is very, very slim because there's so much stuff going on. These, I love these cards, nice chunky size to the cards. Great artwork on the back. Fantastic, all the different kind of elements there. And then nicely laid out. Maybe there might be some more artwork coming to the cards, as after all this is a prototype. But again, just really nice, clear, laid out on the cards. We knew what we were doing after the lengthy rulebook explanation. You have your character here, this guy here. Look at him. What a beefcake. Oh my word. But then also you've got another character beneath there. And so on your go, you roll like a dice and you can get to block out certain things. And if you block all of them out, you kind of unlock more power. Good times. Dice rolling. It all comes down to dice rolling. And if you are Billy Bertie Bobbins at dice rolling,
Hello.
like Pete and Dave were, and it was beautiful to watch tonight, then it may be a little bit of an upward struggle. But hey, it's a luck-based game. So surely you can't be that unlucky to roll a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 3 or 4 times in a row. Wow, when you need only just to roll a 3 and above. Can you be that unlucky, guys?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you can.
I think so.
Yeah, you can. Brilliant. As has already been said, this game for us tonight created lots and lots of entertainment around the table. There was no sitting back and sort of like just waiting for your go. Not at all. All the time there is stuff happening, whether it is your go or not, whether you are on the exploration or not. If it's the other team, then you're dealing damage as the demons or the bosses. It's great. It's immersive. And it's well worth checking out. I think there's a lot more to come for this game in terms of artwork and dare we say even more gameplay. But check this one out and get involved.